Howdy folks, and welcome to SurveyTester. In this initial video, we're going to get you familiarized with the software and get you up and running on your very first project. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and log in. I have my credentials already keyed in. You can fill in with yours on your system. And once we get signed in, you will see your project area. I have two projects already created, and we're going to go ahead and create a new project, and you guys can follow along. I'm going to name this test project. I'm going to keep the default folder. For project type, this is where you will choose which survey software package was used to create the survey. Pretty much all the popular ones are here: Dimensions, SurveyWriter, Confirm-It, SurveyMonkey. For this particular project, I know it was written in Dimensions, so I'm going to pick Dimensions. I also need to pick a default language. I know this particular survey was written in many languages, but I'm going to go ahead and pick English as the default. And then classification field set is where you could define a custom set of classification fields depending on who may be testing the survey. We can talk more about that in a future video. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create. And now I've got my project. What I need next is the test link that was provided for the survey. I happen to have mine over here in a notepad, so I'm going to copy this and paste it in here. And the rest of these fields were already set from the previous window that we used. So in addition to this, we have a choice of project languages. We picked English. This is where we will have our test links so we can send to different testers. This is a neat feature. This is the screenshot devices, and this is where you can pick any of the desktop browsers that may be used. We have Chrome highlighted right now. This is where you can also pick between iPhone and Android phone, or both, and you can pick whether you want to look at the vertical screenshot or horizontal screenshots. I'm going to pick iPhone and Android phone verticals because that's something that we're interested in. And you can also check tablets as well. And these can be turned on or off at any time, and you can have every single one of them on or every single one of them off, just depending on your needs. The Documents tab is where you would share documents with others on your team. Project Tasks is where you could assign tasks to team members. Maybe you have someone that you want to just go through and look for typos. You could have someone that's going through and looking for logic issues. You have a whole host of options here. This is where you would assign users to your projects, and this is where you would assign roles to those users. This is where you would back up. I haven't backed anything up to my login yet, so I still have a gigabyte available, but here's where you would create backups. And test run customizations is where you can, this is a little bit more complicated and more technical, and we can talk about this at a later video, but this is where you can show which test runs will be shown. And then test cases, this is where any tests that you do run show up, and you can kind of take a look at each individual test case and see what happened. So I'm going to go back to the General tab. This tab up here is for any project issues that have been identified, and this is a brand new project, so there are no issues yet. This is where you would see any pages and routing that were encountered during testing, and you can look at the different pages and jump directly to them if needed. This is where you set up your test runs. I'm sorry, this is where you look at your test runs and see what happened, and you can look at the different aspects of what happened in the run. And here is the important one. This is where we would actually test a survey. So for this, I'm going to choose the English language. For test case, there's no data here to display quite yet. We'll talk about that in a later video. And here you can choose between manually running the test by clicking and answering questions on each page, or you can choose automatic runs, and it will automatically test your survey and run through iterations, and you can set how many tests that you would like to run. I'm going to use the automatic run and go ahead and start 5 automatic runs, and then we'll come back and see what happened. All right, folks, so we finished testing the survey, and in here you will see the pages and that it encountered as it ran through the test. And here is a synopsis of the different test runs. I ran automatic tests, so these were automatic answers, and you can see it used the Japanese language in its first test. Like I said, this survey was written in many different languages, and it just automatically picks a language. It's one of the first choices in the survey is which language do you want to use. So as you can see, here's where you would go look through the different answers given. Obviously, I can't understand these. I don't read Japanese, but here is where you will find your test cases. So that about wraps up the initial walkthrough for SurveyTester. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.